Cena's ship shook violently as it plummeted through the thick atmosphere of the uncharted planet. Warning lights flashed red, and the hum of engines faltered into uneven sputters. He gritted his teeth and gripped the controls. Years of training had prepared him for emergencies, but nothing could fully prepare him for the wild, unknown reaches of deep space. The planet below was dense with forests of towering, twisted trees. Strange lights glimmered through the foliage, casting long shadows across the rolling hills. With a final, ear-splitting screech, the ship slammed into the ground, skidding across the rocky surface before stopping with a shudder. Cena unbuckled quickly, checking himself for injuries. His arms ached from the impact, and his head throbbed. He could feel a few scratches and bruises, but he was alive. That alone was a small victory. The first thing he noticed was the silence. No birds, no insects, no wind. Only the distant hum of some strange energy he couldn't identify. He stepped out of the wrecked ship, dust rising around his boots. The air was thick and warm, and he could taste a metallic tang. This planet was alive, but not in any way he knew. Bioluminescent plants pulsed faintly with colors he couldn't name, lighting the forest in soft, shifting blues and purples. Cena adjusted his pack and started moving carefully, surveying the environment. Survival first, exploration second. He needed water, food, and shelter, and he had to understand what kind of life, if any, existed here. His steps were careful. Every sound seemed amplified in the still air. As he explored deeper into the alien forest, he felt something watching him. He stopped and scanned the trees. Shadows shifted in ways that didn't match the wind. He drew his small energy sidearm, not expecting a fight but prepared just in case. The hairs on his arms stood on end. Something, somewhere, was observing him. Hours passed, and the sun, or what he assumed was the sun, began to dip low on the horizon, painting the sky with streaks of violet and green. Cena stumbled upon what looked like a collapsed structure, partly hidden under overgrown vines. The walls were smooth and glimmered faintly, as though embedded with tiny crystals. It didn't resemble any human architecture he had ever seen. Curiosity outweighed caution, and he stepped closer. Inside, the air was cool and still. The walls pulsed faintly with light, illuminating corridors that seemed to stretch endlessly. Cena moved slowly, aware that one wrong step could be fatal. He spotted signs of recent activity, markings on the walls, small pools of strange liquid that reflected the pulsing light, and footprints unlike any creature he had encountered. He was not alone here. Then, he heard it. A faint whimpering, almost human, but not. His heart pounded. He followed the sound deeper into the structure and found her. The alien queen lay trapped under a collapsed arch of crystalline stone. Her skin shimmered like liquid metal in the dim light, her multiple eyes reflecting both fear and intelligence. She was magnificent, but weak and vulnerable. Cena's instinct kicked in. "Hold on," he said, lifting pieces of the heavy structure. His hands shook from strain, but he refused to give up. Slowly, carefully, he cleared the stones, revealing her fully. The queen looked at him directly. Her gaze was intense, almost hypnotic. Cena felt a strange warmth in his chest, a recognition that this being, though alien, was important. Once freed, the queen rose slowly, moving with grace despite her injuries. She did not attack, did not flee. Instead, she studied Cena as if trying to understand his very soul. He didn't know how she communicated, or even if she could understand him, but he spoke anyway. "You're safe now, I think. I don't know if anyone else is here." The queen's eyes glowed brighter for a moment, and Cena felt a wave of energy pass between them. He staggered back, unsure if it was fear, power, or something else. Then she moved past him, her body floating slightly, above the ground, heading deeper into the structure. Cena followed cautiously, wondering if he should leave her alone or continue helping Dot. As they moved, he noticed strange devices and symbols etched into the walls. They emitted soft hums and pulses that seemed to resonate with the queen herself. She paused near one device, placing a delicate hand on it. The light flared and a projection appeared, scenes of a civilization far older and more advanced than anything Cena had ever known. Cities floated above clouds, ships traveling between stars, beings with shimmering bodies interacting in ways that defied his understanding. Cena realized the queen was showing him memories of her people, her life, and perhaps the history of this planet. He tried to focus, but his human mind struggled to grasp the scale. He felt small but also honored. Somehow, by helping her, he had been allowed a glimpse into a world beyond comprehension. Then the device flickered and died. The queen's eyes, fixed on Cena again. He expected a command or a warning, but all he got was a look of acknowledgement. Gratitude, perhaps. He didn't fully understand, but he felt it. And strangely, he also felt a pull. A connection he couldn't explain. The sound of distant movement brought him back to reality. Cena realized the planet was not entirely safe, and that danger might be closer than he thought. He glanced at the queen. She seemed ready, as if she trusted him to make the right choice. Without thinking, Cena nodded, silently agreeing to stay and help her if needed. Night fell over the alien forest. The bioluminescent plants glowed brighter, casting long, strange shadows. Cena set up a small camp near the structure, keeping a careful watch. Occasionally, he glanced at the queen, who had retreated a few meters to rest but remained alert. As he drifted into a restless sleep, Cena thought about the sheer improbability of his situation. Alone on an alien planet, he had saved a being of immense power and intelligence, something most humans could only dream of encountering. And yet, despite the strangeness, he felt a spark of hope. Somehow this encounter was the beginning of something far larger than either of them could imagine. The wind, or what passed for wind here, carried a strange hum. Cena tightened his jacket and stared into the glowing forest. Unknown dangers awaited, yes, but for the first time in a long while he felt alive. Somewhere, deep in the shadows, the alien queen watched him, and though Cena didn't know it yet, this chance meeting would change the fate of two civilizations forever. Cena woke with a start, the strange hum of the alien forest still ringing in his ears. The bioluminescent plants bathed the area in soft blues and purples, casting dancing shadows on the jagged rocks. The queen was gone. He blinked, unsure if he had imagined her presence the previous night. But the signs were there, the crushed leaves, the faint warmth of her touch lingering in the air. His first thought was panic. Where had she gone? Had he failed her? Cena gathered his gear, checking his sidearm and scanning the area. He had no idea how far she could move or what dangers she faced. His instincts told him to follow, but something in his mind urged caution. This was no ordinary being. The queen was powerful, and she did not need him. Still, Cena moved carefully through the glowing forest, guided by faint energy pulses he had begun to sense the night before. The readings were weak but persistent, almost like a heartbeat in the air. The deeper he went, the more he noticed traces of her passage. Broken branches, faint imprints in the soft moss, and a trail of faintly glowing particles. It was as if the planet itself wanted him to find her. Hours passed. Cena climbed over jagged rocks and waded through shallow streams that shimmered under the alien light. His curiosity burned hotter than his fatigue. Every step took him further into the unknown. Suddenly, the air shifted. The pulsing hum intensified, resonating directly with his chest. He stopped and held his breath. Then, she appeared. The alien queen emerged from behind a massive crystalline tree, her shimmering blue skin reflecting the soft light. She looked at him, and for the first time Cena noticed something strange. Her eyes held more than gratitude, they held recognition. "You, human," she said, her voice resonating directly in his mind, not his ears. Cena froze, startled. He had never heard words so clearly without sound. "You don't remember saving me?" Cena's mind spun. I don't understand, he said aloud, though the words felt weak compared to the intensity of her gaze. I saved you? You were trapped. I just lifted the stones. That's all I did. The Queen's eyes glowed brighter for a moment, sending a warmth through him that was almost physical. Not all actions are remembered the same way, human. What you did rippled through time and space. You changed what should have been my end. Cena shook his head, trying to comprehend. He had been alone, lost on a strange planet. How could a single human possibly alter the fate of a being like her? And yet the certainty in her voice left no room for doubt. He wanted to ask questions to understand, but the words stuck in his throat. The Queen moved closer, her presence commanding but calm. She lifted one delicate hand and gestured toward the ruins around them. This structure, my prison, it holds memories of my people, my life, and my near death. Your actions, human, are part of these memories now. Cena stepped closer, trying to peer into the alien constructs. The walls pulsed with faint light, displaying images that seemed alive. Cities floated above clouds, their surfaces smooth and shining like crystal. Ships of unimaginable design glided silently between stars. Beings with bodies like flowing water and light moved gracefully through this world. Cena felt overwhelmed, almost dizzy, for sheer scale. The dawn light of the alien planet filtered through the dense forest canopy, painting the bioluminescent leaves in pale blues and greens. Cena stirred, feeling more alert than he had the day before. Last night's battle against the alien predators had been exhausting, but he had survived. More importantly, he had stood beside the Queen and held his ground. Somehow that small human courage had mattered. The alien Queen rose gracefully, her blue skin shimmering in the soft light. She did not speak aloud, but instead projected her presence into Cena's mind, a gentle, resonating pulse. He had begun to get used to her method of communication. It was strange, intimate, and unavoidably direct. You are strong, she said in his mind, not only in body but in spirit. You think yourself small, yet you act with courage. You are remarkable. Cena rubbed his eyes. I'm just trying to survive, he replied, speaking aloud, though he knew she heard it directly in his thoughts. I don't understand. I can't grasp how I saved you before or why it matters so much. The Queen moved closer, her multiple eyes focusing on him with a depth he could feel rather than see. Your actions, human, carry meaning beyond comprehension. What you call small has changed what would have been inevitable. Life, survival, even civilizations are shaped by such acts. You were there when I needed help, without hesitation. Cena frowned, still struggling to understand. I saved you by lifting some stones. How does that matter in the grand scheme of things? The Queen extended a delicate hand toward a nearby crystal wall. As she touched it, the surface glowed and shifted, displaying scenes from her past. Cena's eyes widened as he saw an alien world, cities of shining crystal floating above clouds, ships gliding between stars, and beings of unimaginable beauty and intelligence. He realized these were memories of the Queen's life, her people, and the civilizations she had known. You see now, she said, her voice in his mind echoing with quiet authority, that even small choices can ripple through time. Your presence in my life was one of those ripples. Cena's heart pounded. A human like him, ordinary by Earth's standards, had made a difference in the life of a being so advanced it seemed untouchable. He felt a mixture of awe, humility, and an odd sense of pride. Before he could fully absorb the moment, a sudden tremor shook the ground. Cena turned just in time to see shadowy shapes moving swiftly toward them. Alien creatures, larger, faster, and more menacing than the ones from last night, emerged from the trees. Their forms twisted unnaturally, limbs bending in impossible angles. Cena's instincts kicked in immediately. He grabbed a sharp crystal shard from the ground, using it as a makeshift weapon, and positioned himself between the Queen and the advancing threat. The Queen radiated a surge of energy, stunning the nearest creature with a pulse of shimmering blue light. Cena dodged the second one, rolling behind a rock and hurling his shard, which struck with surprising precision. His heart raced, but he did not panic. He had learned something invaluable. Human unpredictability could be a weapon in itself. Together, they fought. Cena used his speed, agility, and wit to exploit weaknesses in the creatures, setting traps and distractions while the Queen's energy attacks disabled and stunned the foes. They moved as a team, human and alien, in perfect coordination, each covering the other's vulnerabilities. When the last creature fell, Cena sank to his knees, exhausted but alive. The Queen approached him, her eyes glowing softly, and gently touched his shoulder. He felt a warmth spread through him, a mixture of gratitude, relief, and connection. "You have learned quickly," she said, her voice in his mind calm but full of admiration. "You are not only brave human but adaptable. That is a rare combination. Few in the galaxy could face what you have faced and endure." Cena shook his head, breathing heavily. I'm just doing what I can," he admitted. But he knew, deep down, that this moment had changed him. He was more than just a survivor. He was part of something larger, something extraordinary. The Queen stepped back and looked toward the forest. "There is more you must understand," she said. She led Cena deeper into the clearing, toward a structure half hidden among towering crystalline trees. The air hummed with energy, and Cena felt a tingling sensation on his skin, as if the planet itself acknowledged their presence. Inside, the walls were lined with glowing panels that depicted scenes from the Queen's civilization, moments of triumph, tragedy, and discovery. Cena's mind struggled to comprehend the scale and complexity of it all. He realized that the Queen's people had mastered not only technology but also understanding of the universe itself. "You are human," she said, projecting the thought directly into his mind. "Yet you have qualities that even the most advanced beings may lack: creativity, intuition, courage, and the ability to inspire others. These qualities are rare in the galaxy, and they have brought you here. They have brought you to me." Cena absorbed her words, feeling a mixture of humility and responsibility. He had always thought of humans as ordinary, fragile, and limited. But here, on this alien world, his own strengths seemed extraordinary. He began to understand that being human was not a weakness. It was a gift, a set of unique abilities that could influence even the vast and unknowable cosmos. The Queen placed a delicate hand on his chest, and Cena felt a pulse of energy. It was not harmful, but it connected them, allowing him to sense her emotions and intentions more clearly. He realized that this bond, fragile and mysterious, was the beginning of something far greater than either of them could have anticipated. "We will face many challenges," the Queen said. "The galaxy is not gentle and danger is never far, but together we can endure and overcome. You have already proven that humans can rise to challenges even the most advanced civilizations cannot anticipate." Cena nodded, feeling a mix of determination and awe. He knew that this journey was only beginning. The Queen had trusted him with her life, and in return he would face whatever came next, not as a lone human but as a partner to a being whose power and wisdom dwarfed anything he had known. As they stepped out of the crystalline structure, the alien sun hung low on the horizon, casting long shadows across the glowing forest. Cena realized that he was no longer just a visitor on this planet. He was part of its story now, and his choices, courage, and humanity would shape the path ahead. Somewhere deep in the alien city, a memory of a past life stirred within the Queen. She had survived because of a human she had not forgotten, and now she had found him again. Cena's journey was no longer just about survival. It was about forging a bond that could change the fate of worlds. And for the first time, Cena understood. Being human was more than physical strength. It was the courage to act, the wisdom to adapt, and the heart to stand beside those who needed him. In this alien world, he had found not only an extraordinary ally, but also the proof that humans could rise, even among the stars. The alien city stretched before Cena like a living crystal. Towers pulsed with energy, casting shifting patterns of light across the terrain. The queen led him through streets suspended over glowing pools, her presence calm and commanding. Cena marveled at the sheer scale of it. Even now, he could not fully grasp the intelligence and artistry of her people. "You must understand," the queen said, her thoughts flowing directly into his mind. "My people are not as defenseless as they may appear. Yet we are not invincible. There are those who wish to destroy us, and we must prepare." Cena nodded, adjusting his gear. He had faced alien predators in the forest, but this was different. These threats were intelligent, organized, and patient. And now, he was being asked to help defend a civilization far older and more advanced than his own. They reached a massive plaza where other alien citizens moved with grace and precision. The queen gestured to a map projected from the ground, showing the planet's surrounding space. "An intergalactic warlord," she said, "seeks to conquer us. His forces are vast, and his technology rivals even ours. You must understand that. Humans are considered weak, physically fragile, and unpredictable. That unpredictability, however, can be a weapon." Cena studied the map, seeing fleets of ships approaching from multiple directions. He swallowed hard, realizing the magnitude of the threat. "So, I'm supposed to... what? Fight aliens that are stronger than me with tech I don't understand?" The queen's gaze was calm but firm. "You fight not with strength alone, human, but with ingenuity. Adapt, improvise, and you will surprise him. Humans possess creativity that no alien machine or army can anticipate. That is why you are here." Cena felt a surge of determination. He had always believed that human intelligence could overcome impossible odds. Now he had proof that even the universe itself might depend on it. The first wave of the warlord's attack arrived at dusk. Metallic ships descended from the sky like swarming predators. Their weapons fired beams that cut through the air, leaving streaks of energy in their wake. Cena crouched behind a crystalline barricade, trying to assess the situation. "Use what you know," the queen projected. "Think as a human. Observe. Plan." Cena's mind raced. He noticed the patterns in the enemy formations, the predictable paths their ships took, and the moments when their shields were weakest. Using the glowing pools and jagged structures of the city, he devised traps, small but effective. He guided alien defenders, showing them how to channel the word's attacks into harmless enter. The dawn light barely pierced the thick alien forest, casting long shadows across the crystalline structures of the city. Cena walked beside the queen, his mind still racing from the battle of the previous night. Though the immediate threat had been repelled, he knew that the warlord would not give up so easily. His instincts told him that the coming days would demand even more ingenuity, courage, and endurance. The queen moved gracefully ahead, her energy radiating in soft pulses that illuminated the path. "The warlord's interest in me is personal," she said, her voice calm in Cena's mind. "He seeks to control not only my people, but also my power. His vendetta stretches across decades. You, human, are part of what may stop him." Cena frowned. "I'm just me. I don't have power like yours. How could I possibly help against someone so strong?" "You underestimate yourself," the queen replied. "Humans are unpredictable. You see possibilities others cannot. Your mind, your courage, your choices. These are weapons that no technology or army can counter." They arrived at a large courtyard where alien engineers and strategists were at work. Energy projections floated in the air, showing maps of the warlord's fleets and positions. Cena studied them carefully. Something about the formation caught his attention. There was a pattern, a flaw in the strategy that only a mind, trained to think differently, could notice. "The warlord moves in predictable ways," Cena said aloud. "He relies on strength and numbers. He won't anticipate a human thinking outside the pattern." The queen paused, her eyes focusing on him. "Then you will lead the first strike. Not with weapons of sheer power, but with the ingenuity of your kind." Cena's stomach tightened. Leading an attack against an intergalactic warlord? It was terrifying, yet he felt a surge of determination. He had learned that human courage did not come from fearlessness, but from the willingness to act despite fear. As the first ships of the warlord's fleet approached, Cena coordinated with the Queen and the alien defenders. He used the terrain, energy currents, and the unusual geometry of the city to his advantage. He set traps, diverted energy flows, and created visual illusions using reflective panels and glowing crystals. The alien defenders watched in awe as the humans' unconventional strategies began to disrupt the enemy's formation. The warlord's flagship, massive and heavily armored, moved slower than the rest. Cena noticed that its defense drones operated in predictable sequences. He signaled the Queen. With a graceful wave of her hand, she unleashed pulses of energy to distract the drones while Cena directed the alien forces to strike at the vulnerable points. The flagship shuddered under the combined assault. Cena's human thinking had created opportunities the aliens themselves might not have seen. Beams misfired, ships collided, and the warlord's forces faltered. Yet Cena knew this was only a temporary success. The warlord was clever and would adapt quickly. Later, in the aftermath of the skirmish, the Queen led Cena to a quiet chamber deep within the city. Holographic images of her people's history floated around them. Cena noticed scenes of battles, negotiations, and scientific discoveries that spanned centuries. She paused, her gaze softening. "You see now," she said, "why the warlord seeks me. My knowledge, my abilities, my survival, they represent everything he cannot control. And your actions, human, are becoming part of this history." Cena shook his head. "I don't even remember saving you before. How can one person make such a difference?" The Queen placed a delicate hand on his shoulder. "It is not about remembering, human. It is about choice, courage, and action. What you did before and what you do now shape the future. Even small acts can ripple across time." Cena felt a strange mixture of pride and humility. He had always thought humans were ordinary, fragile, and limited. But here on this alien world, he was discovering the true value of his species: creativity, adaptability, courage, and empathy. Suddenly, a warning flashed across the chamber. A scout had detected an incoming fleet, larger than any they had faced before. Cena's heart raced. The warlord was escalating. Yet instead of fear, Cena felt a clarity he had never known. Humans thrived in chaos, and now his mind thrummed with possibilities. "The warlord thinks in patterns," Cena said, pointing at the projection. "We can't just meet him head on. We need to split his forces, force him to make mistakes, and hit where he's weakest. He won't anticipate a human leading this plan." The Queen's eyes glimmered. "Then lead, human. Your courage and mind will guide us." Cena took a deep breath. Using the city's terrain, the flow of energy currents, and clever diversions, he orchestrated a series of strikes against the warlord's fleet. Each move was unconventional, hitting from unexpected angles, using decoys, and exploiting weaknesses that only a human mind could perceive. The alien defenders followed his lead, amazed by his ingenuity and quick thinking. The tide of battle shifted. The warlord's forces became confused and disorganized, his flagship vulnerable. Cena coordinated with the Queen, who unleashed precise energy strikes to disable key vessels. Slowly, systematically, the enemy faltered. After hours of tense engagement, the warlord's fleet retreated, leaving the planet temporarily safe. Cena slumped against a crystalline pillar, exhausted but exhilarated. The Queen approached, her eyes glowing softly. "You have proven, human, that your species is not weak," she said. "Your courage, creativity, and intuition have saved my people. You may be small in size, but your impact is enormous. Never doubt what humans can achieve." Cena smiled faintly, feeling both pride and awe. He had always thought survival was about strength and endurance, but now he realized that human ingenuity, empathy, and courage could shape the fate of civilizations. As the alien sun set, bathing the city in warm colors, Cena looked at the Queen. "I don't know if I'm special," he admitted, "but I do know one thing. Humans can rise to any challenge, no matter how impossible it seems." The Queen's gaze softened. "Yes, human. And your journey has only just begun. There will be more challenges, more dangers, and more opportunities to show what humanity is capable of. You have already proven that even in the face of overwhelming power, humans can inspire, adapt, and prevail. Cena nodded. For the first time, he felt truly connected, not just to this alien world and its queen, but to the potential of his own species. Humans were not weak. Humans could rise, adapt, and change the course of history. Even in a galaxy filled with dangers far beyond imagination, the night air shimmered with residual energy from the battle. Cena and the Queen stood together, ready to face the next threat. And in that moment he understood something fundamental. Being human was not about size, strength, or technology. It was about courage, creativity, and the willingness to act, even when the odds seemed impossible. And humanity, Cena realized, could rise to face any challenge, even the stars themselves. The alien city had recovered from the attacks, glowing softly under the twin suns of the distant planet. The streets hummed with energy and the citizens moved with a calm but purposeful rhythm. Cena walked beside the alien queen, feeling a sense of accomplishment mixed with anticipation. The warlord's fleet had retreated, but the galaxy was vast and threats would always arise. Yet for the first time, Cena understood that humans had a place among the stars, not just as survivors, but as heroes. The Queen led him to the central chamber of the city, where crystalline pillars stretched toward the sky, their tips glowing with pulsing light. "You have proven your worth, human," she said, her thoughts resonating directly in his mind. "Your courage, your creativity, your willingness to act in the face of danger, these qualities have saved my people and changed the course of our civilization. I wish to honor you." Cena shook his head, feeling both pride and humility. "I didn't do it alone," he said. "We worked together. You gave me the chance, and I just did what I could." The Queen's eyes glimmered, reflecting his words. "True, human, but the impact is yours. It is not only the actions that matter, but the choice to act. You chose to stand, to fight, and to protect. Few beings could have done what you did. Few humans, perhaps none." She extended a delicate hand and a soft light enveloped Cena. He felt a warmth spreading through his body, a sense of connection with the planet, its people, and the history of the Queen's civilization. Knowledge and understanding flowed into him, not fully but enough to glimpse the wonders of this advanced society. Cities floating above clouds, technologies that could harness energy from stars, and histories spanning millennia, all became a part of him. "You are not only a human," she continued, "but a bridge between your kind and mine, between Earth and the wider galaxy. Your species has potential beyond imagination, and I wish to help you realize it." Cena's mind raced. Humans had always dreamed of exploring the stars, but he had never imagined being recognized as an equal by an advanced alien civilization. The weight of the Queen's words settled on him like a mantle, heavy but empowering. Outside the chamber, the city's citizens gathered. They moved with a quiet reverence, acknowledging Cena's presence. Children peeked from behind crystalline structures, elders nodded respectfully, and even the engineers paused in their work. Cena realized that he had not only earned the trust of the Queen, but also of an entire civilization. Humans could be heroes in ways he had never imagined. The Queen gestured to a large energy projection hovering in the center of the chamber. "Ima,